What's My Line? Brought to you by Kellogg's. Kellogg's Cereals. The best to you each morning from Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now let's all play What's My Line? And now from New York, let's meet our What's My Line panel. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in papers coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
And on my left, a wonderful actor and a wonderful husband to Arlene, Martin Gabel.
On my left, a girl who's going to spend Christmas week playing Kind Sir at Mineola, Long Island, Miss Arlene Francis.
And now a gentleman who is bursting with joy because Random House has had the most sensational Christmas business. It does always, and so does he, Bennett, Cerf.
I was bursting with joy until our distinguished panel moderator just told me a terrible Christmas pun about a commissar in Moscow named Rudolph. And he was walking down the street of Moscow with a young married couple, and he felt a little drop on his tunic, and he looked down and said, "It's raining." And the girl said, "It isn't raining, it's snowing." And at this, her husband got very angry and said, "Rudolph the Red knows rain, dear." That crime was perpetrated by none other than John Charles Daly.
There's a fine Christmas present. Imagine having to live that down. And I mean live it down, too. I'll have to go home and explain things. I'll spend all of Christmas Day explaining that away, Bennett.
John, no one who knows you both could possibly believe that you made it up.
Thank you very much, Martin. It's wonderful to have you back on the panel. I needed you tonight very badly, and I trust you all have some fun for half an hour. I think we've got some lovely and interesting occupations. We'll also have a famous mystery challenger before our friends on the panel a bit later in the program, and we'll meet our first contestant after this. Now to meet our first contestant. Will you enter and sign in, please? Monsignor. John Romaniello. Is that right, sir? Monsignor? Would you tell us where you're from, sir?
Well, I'm originally from New Rochelle, but now from Hong Kong.
From Hong Kong?
That's
you certainly
right.
have gone a far away from
That's
home.
right.
Monsignor, may I present our panel, please? Would you join me over here, please? And we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is.
Thank you.
All right. Panel, we can tell you that Monsignor Romaniello is salaried and deals in a product. And we'll begin the general questioning with Dorothy Kilgallen.
John, I think I'll disqualify myself. I may be completely wrong. If so, I'll get back into the game, but I think I know what the Monsignor does.
All right, then Martin Gay.
Thank you, John. Monsignor, is your product in some way connected with a religious matter?
Well, no, not necessarily.
Not specifically, Martin. I think the Monsignor would agree that in the very general sense that he has a direct relationship to the product and that it is involved in his work, it would have a religious association, but not beyond that.
May I continue?
Proceed.
Thank you. Has your product any charitable aspect to it?
Well, yes.
Is it something that you sell rather than give away?
No.
That's 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
You give away rather than sell.
Mm-hmm.
Does your product have anything to do with the world of music?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Monsignor, does your product have anything to do with either food or drink?
With food.
Thank you, Monsignor.
Don't give them any help,
That's the true Christmas spirit which Mr. Daly lacks. It's food. It's a solid food.
Yes.
Has this food ever been alive, Monsignor?
No.
3 down and 7 to go. Dorothy
I think I'm still out.
is disqualified. Mr. Gabel?
Are there children involved in your giving of this food?
Oh, yes.
Could there be adults involved as well?
Of
course. Are the people, is your parish, that's to say, is your domain, your diocese, in Hong Kong?
Well, yes, and other places too.
Yes, I understand. Is this food product that you give away something that is unique and not a sort of general kind of food?
Oh, I wouldn't say it's very unique.
No, I don't say any more. Don't say any more, Monsignor. 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Brent.
Do you run a kind of free kitchen?
No,
No, that's 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Monsignor, it's a specific food we're going after, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
Is this food sweet?
No.
No, that's 6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Is the food a foreign rather than an American food?
It's a universal food.
Therefore also foreign, therefore I get a yes, right, John?
Well, I was waiting to see how quickly you got in. Yes, Martin, we'll give you a qualified yes on that.
A universal food. Well, couldn't be corned beef sandwich or anything like that. Is it a food that I would be apt to eat, Monsignor?
Oh, yes.
Is it a food that in your opinion, I might normally have on a day-to-day basis?
I guess so.
It would be in your diet, I would think. We wouldn't guarantee you'd have it every day, but I can see it as being reasonably in his diet, his regular diet.
Look at him.
Is it one of the...
What did the Monsignor say?
Just look at him. Certainly, he has a good diet.
Look at him.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right, Monsignor.
Well, could this... Don't you? Could this food be included among such things as bread or milk or butter?
No.
No, it would be... We could maybe stretch a point, but that's not. 7 down and 3 to go, Miss Brett.
Well, it's universal.
Is it used in association with these foods that Martin has just mentioned? Is it a part of these foods?
No.
No, I don't. We'd have to stretch a point there, and I don't believe in stretching points. 8
Is there
down and
any
2 to go.
grain or cereal, whatever, mixed up in this food?
Any
Monsignor?
grain or cereal
Grain or
mixed
cereal,
up in
I'd
the
include
food?
rice with that.
Yes, I would say so.
Is there any rice in this product?
No.
That's a very good question. 9 down and 1 to go, Mr. Gable.
Could it be
use the
eggs?
noodle. Huh?
Could there be eggs
Could there
involved?
be? Could there? Well, it could be.
And something, eggs and rice?
Eggs and rice are awfully
Eggs
nice.
so young.
I just can't understand why you all didn't use your noodle. Noodles. This is really one of the great stories, I think, of our time. As you probably know, our American Foreign Aid Program sends vast quantities, I think tens of millions of pounds of cornmeal and wheat and milk powder over to the Far East. Well, the Monsignor was in Hong Kong and found that the Chinese didn't know how to use the milk and things like that, and he had to put it into a form which would make it useful to them. He now has 28 little factories going. They make 1 million pounds of noodles a month, and it's given out in, was it
3-pound bags.
3 pound, and 400,000 refugees every month are fed by these plants that Father fed up. Now, Dorothy, you knew all the
I
time.
knew about it because our friend Bob Considine wrote a column about the Monsignor.
Yeah, Bob has written several times.
That's right,
And it's a wonderful story. Father, I was in Hong Kong not so long ago, and I think that what has been done there by great individuals such as yourself, by the British government in those great flats, I believe they've resettled now in excess of 1.25 million Chinese refugees who come in out of Red China. In terrible conditions, but they just, every day they go at it and build some more flats, and Father finds a way to feed them. And
Monsignor, you're right in sight of Red China, aren't you? You can see it across the
Oh,
back.
yes, you can see...
Why do you think Red China tolerates the existence of Hong Kong?
Well, after all, they can also go to Hong Kong and enter business. They have banks there. They have stores there.
In other words, it's their advantage to maintain that outpost to Western civilization.
It's sort of an Asiatic Switzerland in that way.
Well, yes, in a way, I guess you would say that, too.
They come over to get your noodles, I suspect, Monsignor.
that's what they probably do.
Well, anybody that's hungry, we're willing to give noodles to.
Look out, look out. Bennett will be over there. What's the fare from here to Hong Kong? Monsignor, thank you very much for gracing our show with your presence. All right, let's see what we can do with our second contestant. Will you enter and sign in, please? Carol Stone, right? All righty. Is this Miss or Mrs. Stone?
Miss.
It's Miss Stone, and where are you from?
Right, I'm from Delray Beach, Florida,
Delray
and I'm
Beach,
living
Florida.
here temporarily.
Living temporarily in New York. That's fine. Nice to have you with us. May I present the panel? Will you join me over here, please, Miss Stone? And we'll let the audience at home and the audience in the theater know exactly what your line is. All right. And we can tell you that Miss Stone is salaried and deals in a service, and we'll begin the general questioning with Bennett, Cerf.
Miss Stone, there was a wonderful stage star named Fred Stone some years ago. May I assume you're not related to Mr. Stone? Montgomery and Stone was the name of the team. They were great.
He has a daughter named Carol.
Yes, he has a daughter named Carol. That's why I asked him. Well, the service that you perform, Miss Stone, can it be performed for both men and women?
No.
That's 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Miss Stone, do you do this indoors?
Mm-hmm.
Would you do it for men more than for women?
Right.
And are they better off or happier because of what you do for
We
them?
hope so.
Are there other young women doing what you do at the place where you do it?
Yes.
Would you call it something other than an office job?
Yes.
Do you have anything to do with entertainment or communications of any kind at all?
No.
No. That's 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Is the service that you render to these men who come to your place of business, is it a physical thing rather than a mental service?
I would say so.
Do you teach them to do anything?
No.
Not specifically, no. 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
But you do help them in some way, do you, Miss Stone?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever touch them?
Yes.
But this is not. It's possible, just in the normal give and take of the performance of her duties.
Is there anything that makes the man that comes for your service feel better having had your service, did you say?
I think so.
It does. Do you work for a non-profit-making organization?
No.
That's 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Miss Stone, in the course of the service that you render, do you ever give advice to the men who come to you?
Yes.
Might you ever help them select gifts or something of that sort? Is that your job, but you're one of these wonderful girls that tells men what they can buy so that their wives can bring it back for credit the day
professional Christmas shopper. Is that right,
Yes,
Miss Stone? And Miss Stone is with Bonwood Tellers here. They have
721 shop.
721
That's right,
Club, and they take all of the chore of Christmas shopping off the man's hands. And I've been in there, and it's really great fun. It
Right.
saves you loads
Those
of time.
presents is you buy them, they look beautiful on girls like Miss Stone.
Take it easy. I know your wife.
Thank you.
Take it easy, Bennett. Phyllis will beat your ears off if you keep up the way you're going. I tell you that right now.
You know, John, why they choose people as pretty as Miss Stone is because a man would be too embarrassed to say that's too expensive to a beautiful girl. It's very clever. Isn't it true? Don't you find they're rather reticent about saying, I'd like something less expensive?
For the most part, yeah.
They go in for a 90 and they come out with a chinchilla, don't they?
I trust that all the men in the audience have been listening these last few minutes and will act accordingly. What a conspiracy, and thank you very much, Miss Stone, for conspiring to be elected. We'll meet tonight's mystery guest in just a moment, but first, here is a word from our sponsor. And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery challenger, for which my colleagues are always blindfolded. Blindfolds in place, panel?
Yes, sir.
Good. Will you enter, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? Panel, in this case, a different form of questioning, one question at a time in turn, moving clockwise, and we'll begin with Arlene Francis.
Are you closely associated with the theater?
Nope. 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Would you be famous in the sports world?
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Would you ever appear in nightclubs?
Nope. 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Are you in the movies?
No, sir.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
Do you appear at this time of year especially? And I have a feeling there's more than one.
I do, too.
I do.
Well, anyway, even so, well, are you Santa Claus?
Nope.
No.
5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Cerf.
We didn't get an answer. Arlene started asking a question, then veered off. Do you appear particularly at this time of the year?
No.
6 down and 4 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Do you have anything to do with music in any way?
Nope. 7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Are you in television?
Yes, is that?
That's yes. Mm-hmm.
Do you have a regular program on television?
Yep. Mr. Cerf?
Would you call yourself a comedian?
No. 8 down and 2 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
What was that? No.
Are you a couple of sneaks called Goodson and Todman? One or two regular programs on television. 35, is it 35 half hours a week now?
That's about it, John, yes.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're not Santa Claus? If ever
Well,
there was a Santa Claus.
Thank you, darling.
This is remarkable. 8 down and 2 to go. We nearly got away with it.
I
2
thought-
more and we'd have made it.
That's a nice-
Isn't that great?
Pay us the full number, John. You always
All
do.
right, listen,
Yes,
you
what's the
two
card?
fellas deserve better than that.
Thank you.
Not only that, I'm going to ask the producers of this program to double this because there are 2 of you here. That's what I'm going to do.
No.
Well, I must say, I think this is nice in one thing. It gives us all a chance to wish you both a very heartfelt Merry Christmas. And
John,
a very
actually,
Happy New Year.
that is really why we are here. This is the 14th Christmas that we'll celebrate on What's My Line. And Bill and I wanted to come on and express our gratitude and our own personal Christmas greetings, particularly to these 4 in the panel. To Dorothy, who's, I think, was in the very first broadcast of What's My Line, who has sparked the panel in brilliance all these years and who we know personally to be a wonderful and loyal friend. To Martin, who has occupied the guest chair, I think, more than anybody over the past years. And I remember a story about Martin because Martin has a wonderful, mellifluous voice, and somebody once asked Martin, are you British? And he said, no, I'm merely affected. But knowing Martin, I can say that he's one of the least affected and one of the most effective men I've ever met.
How sweet.
Well said.
Thank you very much.
And to Arlene, who is sweet and bubbly and sexy. And Bennett Cerf, who has the blessed capacity to laugh even at his own jokes, and has a marvelous vigor and sense of youth, which I envy, and to all of you, a very Merry Christmas.
And I join you all, and John, may I just, in leaving, say that we owe to our crew and our staff for these many years, and you, Pappy John, with the velvet glove and the big whip.
No whip.
Many years to come. Thank you, sir.
Well, we didn't fool you, so we'll congratulate you. I think some congratulations are in order, and we'll be back with another contestant after this word from our alternate sponsor. And now a final contestant. Will you enter and sign in, please? Edgar? Edgar Franklin, right, sir? All righty. We're very short of time. Mr. Franklin, where are you from?
I originate from London, England, and now I live in New York.
Wonderful. May I present the panel? You join me over here. We'll let the audience at home and here know exactly what your line is. All right. Panel, we can tell you that Mr. Franklin is salaried and deals in a service, and we'll begin with Martin Gabel.
Thank you, John. Mr. Franklin, could I make use of your service?
Yes, you could.
Your tone makes me nervous. Would I be a better man after having been subjected to your service?
I would say not specifically, Martin. You might enjoy it, but I wouldn't say better man. 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Does your service have anything whatsoever to do with the sports world, Mr. Franklin?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Does your service have anything to do with either the entertainment world or the tourist world? Nope.
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Mr. Franklin, could I use your services?
Yes, you could.
Would I go to see you in order to make use of your service?
Yes.
Would I see you indoors?
Yes.
Most likely. Would you talk to me?
Yes.
Would... That's jolly nice of you. Would I pay you directly for your service?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Do you need a special training for your job, Mr. Franklin?
Nope.
Nope. 5 down and 5 to go, Miss Francis.
Do you work in rather a large place, Mr. Franklin?
Yes.
Would it be as large as a hotel?
Which is large as a hotel. You know.
Could be.
Are there many rooms in your place?
Yes.
Oh, maybe...
All right.
Maybe he's Santa Claus.
Maybe he is. I will say this. I had all the cards turned over because I was going to throw the sponge, so we'll agree that Mr. Franklin was discovered just after the fact.
Oh, certainly.
And he is Santa Claus at Macy's department store. Actually, is an actor of great experience, and he's wonderful at it, and the youngsters love to have him, and thank you for being a Santa Claus for us on a near Christmas Eve. And now it's the pleasant task to say Merry Christmas to all of you, and particularly to all my friends on the panel, and good night to Dorothy Kilgallen.
Good night, and Merry Christmas to you, John, and all your family, and Merry Christmas, everyone, and to you, Martin.
And to you, Dorothy, to you, Arlene, and to you all, John, Bennett, Merry
Yes,
Christmas.
to everyone, merriest of all, and to you,
And
Bennett.
thank you, Arlene. To everybody, the best of everything. And even you, John.
Why, thank
That's
you,
the-
Bennett, and a Merry Christmas to you, and thanks for being with us on What's My Line?
What's My Line
is a CBS Television Network production in association with Mark Goodson and Bill Todman. Johnny Olson speaking. This program was pre-recorded.